Squeeze, we have Kristen O'Leary going to join us, and after divorce is finalized, people don't realize, Squeeze, they need to still stay on top of what has been ordered in the divorce judgment. Because a lot of times you get a divorce judgment and then the other spouse doesn't do what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And then down the line, they say, how come I didn't get any money when the house was sold? How come I'm not getting my child support? How come I'm not getting my maintenance? So let's find Kristen O'Leary. We're going to talk about that. And this is Kristen. How are you? Welcome. I don't hear Kristen. Maybe we can hear her now. Kristen, welcome again.
I can hear.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So you are a matrimonial attorney here at Spar and Bernstein. A pretty good
yes,
one.
I am.
A pretty good one, if I may say so myself. And
well, thank you.
I am saying it myself. And so here at Spar and Bernstein, the matrimonial department, Kristen handles not only family law issues, divorce issues, child support, child custody, visitation. Obviously divorce is a big part of your practice. And a lot of times I think people get divorced and they think it's over, but it's never over, is it?
Yeah, they're already doing the cartwheels, and meanwhile, none of the orders have actually taken effect yet. The sale of the marital home, payment of retirement assets, payment of child support, compliance with custody and visitation agreements, paying for summer camp, little things like that. They make a big difference in someone's life post-judgment.
So what advice do you give people? Okay, let's say you got the divorce, they're doing cartwheels. Okay, they say, oh, wow, this divorce has taken forever, or maybe it didn't. Now they're free to get married. They're free to live their life. They got rid of their spouse. What advice do you give people so that they can stay on top of things, number one? And then number two, if you can talk about some of the things you're seeing that people are not staying on top of.
Absolutely. My number one piece of advice is to pay attention. Stay in touch with your spouse, at least on a, peripheral levels, so that you can make sure, a house is being sold, is put on the market, we've got a real estate agent, things are going, and stay in touch with your lawyer. You might have to pay them a few extra bucks to keep their eye on the case, but it's important that you make sure these things get done within the time frames that are specified in the agreement, or you're going to lose money.
Squeeze, you have any questions for Kristen?
Well, no, not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
I'm busy here sharing
I'll give you
away
guys
to
an
get our
example.
numbers up.
You are busy sharing away. So for example, what would happen, if, because we see this all the time, and I think that was very good advice. Yeah, you may pay a couple of dollars more to an attorney, but it's worth it compared to not getting the right proceeds from the house, or not getting the house, or not getting the child support or the maintenance. That's why attorneys are there. So what process would you have to go through? Let's say your client gets divorced and the judge says, okay, you gotta, sell the house and split the proceeds of the house. And a year goes by, and the one spouse says, hey, the house was never sold, or the house was sold, I never got anything. What do you do?
You file what's called a motion for contempt in the court that your divorce was finalized in. Generally, it'll get assigned to the same judge that's familiar with your facts and your family, and we basically tell the court that you haven't done what you're supposed to. In that situation, you're in a good position to ask for attorney's fees as well. If your ex-spouse hasn't complied with the terms of the agreement, you can ask the court to order that they pay your lawyer to have to come back to court and, relitigate these issues.
Well, that's also a very good point, B. So you can, even though you're spending money, maybe you think in the beginning you're going to end up basically getting it paid back from the
I find that. Yeah, I find that the money is a big reason why people tend to let these things sit and wait. We had a client here at the firm. We represented him in divorce 2 years ago. He called us a couple of months ago letting us know that he went to go buy a property with his new girlfriend, and he was advised by the bank that there was an outstanding mortgage that had been unpaid for 6 months in his name. Based on the terms of the agreement that we negotiated for him, his wife was to take his name off of that house, and the property was to be, either refinanced in her name or sold. She never did either. So now we're in court again litigating this issue, and we're asking for her to pay our fees. And the courts granted our attorney's fees. So his issue was he didn't want to spend any more money. He spent a lot for our services the first time around, and he didn't want to spend any more money. But we talked to him, we explained to him the process, and explained to him that it's very likely we could get the court to pay his fees, and he was more than happy to bring the case back to us.
So even if people don't have the money to pay for the lawyer up front, it's still worth it to come for a consultation just to see maybe the other spouse who's not complying. Why should you be punished if the other spouse isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or the ex-spouse isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, it's one of the few situations where you can get your fees paid.
Kristen, fabulous job as always. Thank you very much for joining
Thank
here.
You, Brad.
To reach Kristen, in right now. The telephone number, it's the same telephone number, by the way, as it is to get on our show, and that's 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465.